Chris, just what did you see from all your team down the stretch to be able to face down Luke and LeBron in a game like this and pull it out?
Yeah, I mean, we picked the perfect time to kind of close the game. Our best closing effort of the year, no doubt, both sides of the ball. Did a really good job, I thought. Executing and getting good looks. Obviously, Ant was huge. Made some dagger shots, but our defense was pretty much there, and we trusted the pass at the right time, and so it was really great job. Low turnovers against a ton of physicality. Nas was huge. Everyone was huge. I thought in many ways, Nas showed up just at the right time. We needed him to splash a couple threes, and he did. So.
And then Jaden on both sides of the ball. Just how do you see him growing here?
Just a monster. I think this is a career high for him. Couldn't come at a better time. In the flow, everything. He was super aggressive. We found him. I thought he and Julius did an excellent job, setting the tone today. Just being aggressive, playing with a lot of force, and then battling their matchup. Of course, they had the two tough matchups out there, and just fighting and fighting. LeBron had a heck of a game going, and Julius just kept battling him, and we got him to miss at the right time down the stretch. Fortunately for us.
What did you see specifically from Ant in those last 5 minutes? It seemed like he wasn't predetermining anything, and he was actually reading.
Yeah, he was. I mean, getting to the hoop, I think he was going a little bit quicker, on his drives. He was staying with his direction, and then when he was there, he had the rim or the kick out. So I thought he kind of piece by pieced it really well, and he kind of knew by that point where the floor was going to be spaced. So.
And what did you like most defensively in those last 5 minutes? Seemed like every game plan thing was on point.
Yeah, I mean, we did. We kept flipping some coverages around. And guys did a pretty good job of just not giving in to some of the switching that they were trying to do on some matchups, and then on others they were pretty much trying to execute their coverage. But I just liked our, and then we rebounded well. We haven't always rebounded down the stretch. It's been part of our closing issue.
Chris, the other day at practice, the guys were talking about how you were kind of getting after him after game 2 and with the film session and stuff. How did you just find the way that they responded to?
I mean, I knew they would respond. It wasn't we've had way more, spirited film sessions than that. It was pretty matter of fact the other day. We just left a lot. We didn't make a lot of plays that were right there in front of us to be made. Offensively, that was huge. Guys recognized it. They played with a lot more physicality, and it bothered us. So we had to, he had to match that. So it was really about the concepts, the execution, and the spacing. But we played way too slow. We've got to get out and we got to play a little faster. So.
You said McDaniel's got a lot of his points in the flow.
Yeah.
If that's not happening, do you want to prime the pump there, because it seems like it can be a repeatable offense?
Yeah, and we have, and we are. We've tried to, and there's some of those things that are intentional out there. So, but yeah, I think it's just best when when you play teams that are heavy switching and they like to hold and grab and play physical. You got to play with more way more speed and more randomness, to be honest with you.
And I know you say this all the time, but if Mike isn't shooting, it diminishes what he is out there. And I think he started to pick it up a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
And obviously was able to get a lot of secondary action because of that.
Yeah, I mean, Mike. Mike's got a tough job in this series. Just we're putting him on guys that he's giving away size and strength to, but he fights. Just make all the hustle plays. He's been very opportunistic offensively. I think it's not a traditional game plan for us offensively either. So, I think he had a bunch of good looks. I thought in game 2 we just couldn't connect, but a lot of series left, so I'm sure he'll find a way to figure it out. So
all season, the 5 you often close with may not be the 5 that you start with on a given night, and tonight was a big example of that. Just overall, how has the team and your kind of quote unquote 8 starters taken to that?
Yeah.
Some nights they might be closing, some nights they might not be.
Yeah, I mean, it's, everybody wants to finish games. Everyone wants to play all the minutes out there. For the most part, these guys have been great. It's a conversation we have before the playoffs start every year. And our most experienced guy, Mike Conley, usually stands up and says, hey, man, whatever it takes, that's what we're going to do. And if it means playing you or not playing you or starting you or not starting you, every series is different. Every game in every series can be different because there's so many adjustments being made. And we've asked our guys to be super open-minded of that, and they have been. So,
When did you decide to go with this configuration? At what point in the fourth quarter did you say this is what I'm going to close with here?
Basically, when I went back with Nas, we put Rudy in there, they drew a really cheap foul on him, and then Jokic got to the baseline, and I just wanted more aggressiveness, like up into the ball, and I've down at the other end of the floor, we had a pretty good rhythm going before that, so it was easy to return to that. So.
Doesn't seem like Luka has to turn down shots as often as he did tonight. He throwing his head fakes around, and Jaden was still there.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, he wasn't feeling well. I think he's a little bit under the weather. So he did make some tough ones, though. I mean, the 2 that he made were, we were draped all over him. So, but he's an unbelievable player, man. He's a handful. So sometimes you just feel helpless when you're guarding him.
Chris, it seemed like during the regular season, your team has hit offensive ruts. It seemed like Julius was there kind of throughout the game to not let that happen tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding all game. I mean, he did lots of things for us. He got a little baseline cut and laid it in. He got out in transition when the game was they were widening the game in the first half. He got an and one. He just kind of played the game that came to him, but he stayed aggressive all the way throughout. I thought we ran offense through him at the elbow. He found Mike for a cheap one. He just did a lot of really, really great things tonight. And, man, it's such a pleasure to have him just with the physicality that he plays with. And just, and we need that at this time of the year. So, and it doesn't seem to get him off of his game. He actually relishes it, so.
Chris, what was the environment like?
Yeah.
I mean, just not only the fans, but just the intensity of the game and the swings and how you guys managed to stay composed.
Well, first of all, it was another great atmosphere here. It continues to be among the best, if not the best. I mean, it's just the fans are so into it from the get-go. I thought it was an outstanding game. I thought it was pretty well played by both teams. It was our guys did a good job of staying on the even keel, even when things weren't going well for us offensively. In Game 2, we kind of went hero ball. Everybody did at that point in time, and we stuck with some of the basics like we wanted to do, get out in transition, run, those types of things. So, and we kept guarding. It was an unbelievable playoff atmosphere. So I'm proud of the guys for riding the ups and downs with the right mindset.
Chris, when you do get a sense or learn that somebody's under the weather like Luka, do you adjust for that at all, or do you just we're sticking with our game plan and making sure that he doesn't get it going?
Well, I mean, yeah, you talking about defensively? I mean, yeah, of course. I think you have to take all these things into account. I don't know how he felt. I just know he didn't start the second half because someone said he wasn't feeling well. So, I mean, all credit to him. He came back. He battled. He played hard. He's a gamer. But, yeah, you have to take all that into account.